This is DJ Nuu, the most interesting DJ in the world. DJ Nuu.
Weddings. Music. And wine. With Nuu.
This is DJ Nuu, the most interesting DJ in the world.
Welcome in. It's your boy DJ Nuu. It's your head of the table and head of this podcast. Welcome to Weddings, Music, and Wine with Nuu. Live streaming on Spreaker.com. Available later on all major streaming services, including Spotify, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Podcast Addict, Deezer, Podchaser, and Jayo Saver, the largest Indian streaming service in the world. Sponsored in part by the Den, ENT, Weddings and Events Consulting for your upcoming wedding and or events, because you can find everything you need in the Den. Welcome back to Weddings, Music, and Wine with Nuu. This episode is on location at Goose Ridge Winery a little bit earlier today in tasting room in Woodinville, Washington, Hollywood District. I talked with Mr. Kevin, wine influencer, who educated me on all things wine with the background of the company and his life in the industry as well. Great time with Kevin, and glad I had the chance to talk with him this afternoon. So go check out this great place in Woodinville, Washington in the Hollywood District, and tell him that DJ Nuu sent you. Also on the show, giving a shout out to Goose Ridge for randomly having some funk music playing the entire time in the background. Thank you all for that. But we'll have a cocktail. But I will have 2 cocktail funk instrumentals for your listening pleasure during the show. Also, a very important and gracious happy birthday to my mom tomorrow on the 29th, August 29th. Love her and wishing her the best day in the world, because without her, there will be no me. So I'm happy, so happy for to say a happy birthday to my mom and the best wishes from your oldest child. I love you to pieces. I really do. Happy birthday, Mama. Now, let's start the show off with some funk instrumental, and then I will be talking with Mr. Kevin of Goose Ridge in Woodinville. After that, one more instrumental, and I will talk with you all next time.
This is DJ Nuu, the most interesting DJ in the world.
Hey, what kind of music?
The only music worth being called music. I'm talking about the funk.
DJ Nuu here at where are we, Kevin?
We are at Goose Ridge Estate Winery Tasting Room in Woodinville.
All right, Goose Ridge. It's here in Woodinville, Washington, with Mr. Kevin. And what is your position here, Kevin?
I am a wine influencer.
Yeah, hold on to it.
Yeah, and so we're going to talk about Goose Ridge today, and we're starting off with our rosé, which is a really beautiful light in color, and you've got some really beautiful floral notes on the nose, but on the finish you get this nice tart strawberry with a little bit of melon right on the finish of it. It is super delicious, one of my favorites. Rosé is one of my favorite styles of wine, just because it goes with everything, and especially during Thanksgiving, you always have it because it goes with sweet, savory, spicy. It goes with pumpkin pie, apple pie, pecan pie.
He said pecan pie. That's what my mom always used to make.
I love pecan pie.
So do I. Mr. Kevin here at Goose Ridge. We're trying the new rosé here in Woodinville, Washington. You just heard him a little bit. We're going to get a little bit of your background as well, sir. So I want you to talk. I mean, that's why I'm here. So you can just,
Okay.
I'm not doing all the talking. You're going to be doing the talking. So tell the fans, like I said, 5,000 fans. Top 50 on Spotify now. I'm very humbled by that, so thank you guys for always listening. It's in 49 countries. I could say 50, but I looked this morning, it's 49 countries it's playing in. So Mr. Kevin is going to talk to you guys, tell them your background, tell them how you got here, how long you been doing this, how long you been in Washington. Talk, sir.
All right. I hope you guys got plenty of time. So I was born and raised in Idaho, grew up on a ranch, and made my way down to Las Vegas, where I actually used to bartended at the El Cortez downtown
I
and
know
the Holiday Inn on the Strip, and then went to the University of Las Vegas there, got my degree in hotel restaurant administration, focused on the food side of the business, and then was recruited out of college to go to Sacramento, California as a food and beverage director for Red Line Hotel. Went to Radisson Hotel, wrote wine lists for both of those properties, and then I left the hotel industry, went to work for Olive Garden restaurants, and opened about 10 restaurants for them. And then I went to work for California Pizza Kitchen, and I was a managing partner in the Bay Area. And my love for wine was always going over to Napa and Sonoma all the time, Amador County. And I've been very fortunate to meet Tim Mondavi, Robert Pepe, Paul Hobbs. So I've had some great experiences in wine, and wine and food is my passion.
Yeah.
So, and I've been doing this for over 45 years.
Okay.
Something like that.
That's a long time, brother.
I know. Well, it is a long time. I just call it I'm trying to outlive my warranty. So while we're doing this, I'm going to go I've been at Goose Ridge for about a year and a half. Mm-hmm. I've been in Woodinville for over 10 years, and I've worked a couple of the different tasting rooms. I've worked for Patterson Cellars. I've worked for the Big House, Chateau Ste. Michelle. It's such a great community here. We got a lot of great wineries, winemakers. It's just such a very cool community here in Woodinville.
What are these places based out of?
So we're based out of, Goose Ridge is based out of the Tri-Cities area, kind of Benton City. We have over 3,000 acres there.
Nice.
2,200 of it is planted in vines.
Okay.
And we only use about 10% of that fruit, and we sell the rest of it. And we also have apple orchards, cherry orchards, pear orchards. We do have some alfalfa and cattle because we started as a cattle ranch in early 1900s, and we started planting vines back in 1998. So we're one of the largest continuous estate wineries in the state of Washington. And then last year we got our own AVA called Goose Gap.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's pretty cool. All the wine that you guys are going to be drinking today, you can only get at online or in our tasting rooms, but we do have a couple other different brands out there. We have the G3, we have Cascadian Outfitters, which is a canned wine. We have cider, hard cider, which is awesome. We actually started making spirits too. We have a vodka, and we're coming out with a gin and also a brandy later this year.
Oh, that's for me.
So, yeah, it's all fantastic. All right, well, you guys finish up. I'm going to go grab another something for you guys.
Man, you guys, good content, brother. Appreciate you. See you in a little bit. And that was Kevin here at Goose Ridge Estate Vineyards here in Woodinville, Washington. It's your boy DJ Nuu here in Woodinville, Washington. Just talking with him, getting a little education on some wine. So thank you guys for listening in. I will be right back with Kevin with our second wine tasting. Like I said, this is rosé, so I don't know what he's bringing out, but we'll see. Thank you guys for listening in. Weddings, Music, and Wine with Nuu. We are back. Weddings, Music, and Wine here with DJ Nuu, here with Mr. Kevin at Goose Ridge here in Woodinville, Washington. Mr. Kevin, go on. What are we drinking next?
So the next wine we're going to do is our GRV. And GRV actually does not stand for Goose Ridge Vineyards. It's actually the varietals that are in the glass. So we have Grenache Blanc, Risson, and Viognier. It's kind of a full-bodied white wine. Mm-hmm. We call it the white wine for red wine drinkers. Probably one of my favorite white blends in the state. Not because I work here. It's just, it is true. It is a beautiful glass of wine. Before I even actually worked at Goose Ridge, I would come here on a Sunday afternoon, We had live music out on the patio. We still have live music, but that's on Thursday and Fridays.
I was going to ask, like, when is that so I can catch it?
Yeah. And then on Sundays I'd come here and they would just bring me a bottle of this out to my table. They didn't even talk to me. They knew what I wanted to drink. So it's very good. You get some really nice, get a little stone fruit in there, a little minerality.
It's really good.
It just
the
so
palate
delicious.
is really good too.
Yeah, it's a perfect food wine too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
what kind of food though?
Like this here, I would love to do with oysters on the half shell, with a little kind of a spicy minuet to kind of go with that. Also, this goes really good with like chicken piccata because it just cuts through the acidity of the sauce, and it really matches up really nice with it. But it's really a great thing, great wine. And we grow over 17 different varietals in our vineyard, mostly cab. And we're going to be trying our cab because our 2018 cab we released about 4 months ago. It is my new best friend. So we'll be trying that. We'll be going through probably most of my favorite wines.
Yeah.
So,
what is your favorite?
That's hard to say. So right now,
it's like asking somebody what their favorite movie or favorite music is,
or their favorite kid.
kid.
So right now, I'm loving the rosé. Rosé is always my favorite, and then the GRV for whites, and then for the reds, I do like our Merlot, our Cab, and our Vireo are probably my top 3.
Okay.
Reds.
I was going to ask like what your top 5 was.
Yeah, and then but all of our wines are so delicious. It's hard to choose.
Yeah.
On there. So, and one cool thing about Goose Ridge is we have a wide variety of wines. We actually have several different white wines and a lot of red wines. So a lot of the wineries around here don't have that many whites. They have more focus on the red wines.
Yeah.
So we're very lucky in that way. And then our Cascadian Outfitters canned wine, we have some rosé bubbles, we have some white bubbles, we have a red blend, a rosé, and a Chardonnay. Perfect for camping. I just went to Lake Chelan for a week, and that's what I was drinking. Was the Chardonnay and the red blend. Oh, and the rosé bubbles, because the rosé bubbles was in Wine Spectator, I think, last July, and scored 86 points and was the number 5 American sparkling wine to have at parties and events.
Nice.
So it's pretty cool. We might have to indulge in a little bit of that.
Yeah.
So, all right, back to you.
All right, appreciate you, Mr. Kevin. Thank you, Kevin, here at Goose Ridge. Also, I was going to ask you, you like you say you was going to be coming out with a vodka type and the brandy and also the gin as well. Well, you said it was going to be at the end of the year. When you guys think?
Well, we have the vodkas out right now, and it's called Vito. And we'll talk about that after a bit.
All right, good deal.
And then the gin should be coming out probably into September. And then the brandy, I'm not sure when they're gonna.
You got to let me know when the brandy comes out.
Yeah.
That's my favorite.
Well, it's all top squirrel, secret squirrel stuff. It's above my pay grade, so on there. But the vodka's really good. I've had the gin. The gin is really good. I have not had the brandy, so I can't tell you.
Can't tell. Yeah. Not a problem. I appreciate you, Mr. Kevin. We'll talk with you in just a bit. It's Weddings, Music, and Wine with Nuu, Mr. Kevin here at Goose Ridge Estate Vineyards here in Woodinville, Washington. We will be right back with our next tasting and get to talk with Mr. Kevin a little bit more. Thank you. Weddings, Music, and Wine here with DJ Nuu, Woodinville, Hollywood District, Washington, here with Mr. Kevin at Goose Ridge. Mr. Kevin has already let us taste rosé and GRV, and GRV does not stand for Goose Goose Ridge Vineyards. What does it stand for again?
It's Grenache Blanc Rosson Viognier.
Yeah, see, I can't say any of that, and I'm a pretty good speaker as well, so I'm just going to leave that to Kevin. All right, Kevin, what are we drinking next? Go ahead, brother.
So we're going to do the Cascadian Outfitters Rosé Bubbles.
Okay.
These are the bubbles I was telling you about earlier.
Okay.
That was in Wine Spectator. That scored 86 points and was voted the number 5 American sparkling wine to have at events and parties. So super delicious, really
crap,
easy.
That's good. I love it. Yeah.
Isn't that good? Do not fear the can. You know, a lot of people go, "Oh, wine in the
it's
can."
in the can. Yeah,
No, that's got to be crappy. So it's super delicious. Hold on, just one moment. I just got to move my.
Oh no, go right ahead.
So,
we just asking, are those the vineyards?
Yeah, I'll show you those there in a minute. But super delicious. The white bubbles are really good too. And then each can is a half a bottle of wine.
Holy crap.
So if you go camping with this and your buddies are drinking Coors Light and you're keeping up with them, you might actually see that guy, this little Sasquatch, our little mascot on the can. So super fun, perfect for camping, boating. It's super delicious.
Nice.
And then I did bring some maps of our property.
Okay.
And let's flip it like this. So you can see that we have the alfalfa, we have some orchards, we have a lot of cab here, which is we have about 850 acres of cab alone out of that 2,200.
Nice.
So, and then a lot of Chardonnay, and then we have the Riesling, the Grenache Blanc, the Roussanne, the Viognier on there. And this map kind of talks about the different soils and stuff on there. And this other map I have is actually the outline of the Goose Gap AVA.
Okay.
And so if you're familiar with Washington,
I am not. Actually.
So over in eastern Washington, we're right across from Red Mountain.
Okay, I've heard both
from
of
there.
those.
So we're kind of there, and we have a mountain here too. It's called Goose Mountain.
Okay.
So, and we're the only working winery in this APA.
Nice.
So it's pretty big. We're pretty proud of that.
Good.
So what do you think of the rosé?
Dude, the rosé was awesome because I'm not even really a rosé person, but so it always amazes me when I'm able to drink one. I was like, oh man, this is really good. And that's literally what I said when I was like, holy shit, this is really good.
Yeah, and these rosé bubbles are super delicious, really fun. You know, and being in the can is very convenient on there.
Tell me about the artists, I saw a couple of ladies. Was it Emma and Katie and Todd?
Yeah, we will talk about them when we drink that stuff.
All right, good deal.
Yeah, you got to drink and appreciate the art.
Exactly.
Right.
Appreciate you. Thanks a lot, Kevin. Appreciate it. This is Weddings, Music, and Wine with Nuu, drinking on our bubbly in the can wine here at Goose Ridge, Hollywood District. We will be right back with Mr. Kevin. We're going to talk about the artists next. Thank you. We are back here at Weddings, Music, and Wine with Nuu. So far, Rosé, GRV, and Rosé in a can, Canadian Outfitters in a can. Here with Kevin at Goose Ridge, here in the Hollywood District in Woodinville, Washington. What are we drinking next, Kevin? I'm going to give the mic right over to you, sir.
Okay. So now we're going to go to some of our reserve club wines. And the first one I'm pouring you is our... we call it the sharp-tailed grouse because it's named after the bird that is on the label.
Okay.
And this one is 59% Mourvedre and the rest is Grenache. So it's got a lot of pepper on it.
I can taste the pepper.
You can taste the pepper on this one.
Yep.
So it's a kind of a lighter style bodied wine, but with a little chill next to the barbecue, doing some ribs with some tri-tips.
Yep, so I'm doing ribs later too.
Yeah, this is the bomb right here. And our club wines, what's kind of cool about our club wines is that we get a different artist every year to do the labels.
Oh, nice.
So this was released back in 2020. This was Todd Thielander. He's from the Walla Walla area.
Okay.
He does a lot of wildlife and a lot of animals.
Yeah.
We had a whole bird series done. We have a red-tailed hawk. We got a Canadian goose. We've got a snow goose. Was pretty cool. And then last year was Katie Small.
I love that label. That's so cool.
The Tri-Cities area, and she takes floral and incorporates a woman's face or bust line in there, so they're really captivating. And this year, our wine club, this is Emma Van Verd. She's from Linden, Washington, which is a small little town up by the Canadian border.
Okay.
And she does all these watercolors of national parks. This one actually is the Smoky Mountains.
Okay.
And we have Olympic National Park, we got Mount Rainier, we've got Zion, and we've got 4 new ones coming out in the fall for our fall release. But Emma is only 19 years old.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, very talented. Unfortunately, she's not old enough to drink wine, but her mother is very happy with her.
Oh, I bet she is.
Yeah. And so the wines are... The artwork is just amazing.
Yeah, it is.
And it's so fun to get different artists every year to do the labels on that. And it's just really cool. But what's more important is the wine in the bottle is really delicious.
Yeah, I'm about to say,
that's really good.
That's what we care about.
Yeah. Let's get real, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Perfect. I'm going to go take this away, and I'll be back.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Kevin. Appreciate it. Weddings, music, and wine here with Kevin here at Goose Ridge. And winery here in Woodinville, Washington, Hollywood district. It seems like it's getting a little bit busier right now. Shout out to my mom, matter of fact. It's going to be her birthday tomorrow on the 29th. I'm not going to say how old she's going to be because she would kick my butt. But I am wishing her happy birthday. And also shout out to my family. Shout out to everybody back there in the South. Shout out to everybody across the country too. And also thank you to everybody who's been listening in to Weddings, Music, and Wine. Appreciate every one of you guys. 5,000 listeners, top 50 on Spotify. Also streaming on all major streaming services. You guys are absolutely amazing. I'm humbled by how many people is listening to the podcast. I'm sorry I'm not on every weekend, but I'm on this weekend, so enjoy, and I will be right back with Mr. Kevin. We're going to talk a little bit more about some wine, so thank you guys. See you in a bit. We are back at Weddings, Music, and Wine with Nuu. This is your boy DJ Nuu here at Goose Ridge Winery here in Woodinville, Washington, Hollywood district here with Mr. Kevin. Tell me your position, Kevin, again.
I am a wine influencer, so...
We say you should be owning wine, period, because you're very, very knowledgeable.
I do like my wine.
Yeah, and you're passionate too, and that's a good, that's where you're supposed to be when you're doing stuff that you love.
Yes, that's very true. And you got to indulge in what you like doing.
Yeah.
So I like doing wine. So what I just poured you was our 2018 Cabernet Sauvignon. Mm-hmm. We actually just released this probably about 4 months ago.
Okay.
And this became my new best friend.
So you say you didn't really have a favorite, but you got a favorite.
Yeah, kind of, yeah. So this has got some classic, Cabernet Sauvignon, beautiful dark cherry notes on there. The tannins are really super smooth, really well balanced. A lot of people said 2018 was one of the better vintages in the state of Washington, and so far it is true for me. A lot of the 18s that I'm drinking, that I get a chance to drink, I go, wow, that's really good.
Yeah.
So Cabernet Sauvignon is one of the most widely planted varietals in the state of Washington. Over 30% of all the vines in the state are Cabernet Sauvignon, and that's no different with us. Of our 2,200 acres of vines, 850 acres of cab.
Yeah.
So when you have that much cab, what else do? You make vodka.
You make vodka.
Yeah. So it goes in red, comes out clear. And so this is named Vito, and it's named after Arvid Monson, who is the patriarch of the family. He always enjoyed a good glass of vodka. after a hard day's work, always wanted to make vodka.
Yeah.
But his nickname was Vito, and he had actually passed away before we were able to do it.
Oh, sorry to hear
So
that.
the family named it after him.
Is that his image? as
Yeah,
well?
that's a silhouette
Yeah,
of Arvid
that's
in
cool.
there, so it's really cool. This is distilled 24 times, and it's kind of unique in most vodkas are super low and neutral. This actually has a little floralness to it,
Yeah.
and it's super smooth being distilled 24 times.
Yeah.
And you get a nice little, on the finish you almost get a little sweetness, almost a little vanilla almost.
Yeah.
It's very, very good. And I'm going to have you try a little
Yeah, I'm
bit
about to
of
say,
it.
can we try that?
We're going to try that. All right. Well, enjoy that, Cab, and I'm going to go find something else.
All right, thank you, Mr. Kevin. I appreciate it. It's Kevin here, and wine influencer, where he should be owning wine, period. But we are here at Goose Ridge Winery here in Woodinville, Washington. Hollywood district is just starting to get a little more busy. People are starting to come in, which is a fun. It's a beautiful day here on a Sunday too here in Woodinville. 78 degrees. I'm just kind of guessing, but it's not that hot. Everybody's sitting under these little umbrellas, sitting at these tables in the shade, enjoying their wine tasting. So yeah, but that's what we're doing here today on Weddings, Music, and Wine. It's all about the wine today. It's usually about the music, usually about the weddings, but today it's all about the wine. Getting back to the wine here on Weddings, Music, and Wine with Nuu. Thank you guys for listening in. We'll be right back with Mr. Kevin, wine influencer here at Goose Ridge. What the hell am I talking about? All right, guys. See you in a little bit. It's Weddings, Music, and Wine with Nuu. We are back with Mr. Kevin, wine influencer here at Goose Ridge here in Woodinville, Washington, Hollywood district. It's going to be our last section of talking with Mr. Kevin, so he's going to be able to talk with you guys about look like a cab. So go right ahead, Mr. Kevin.
So what I brought out for you guys is something very special. This is our Goose Mountain Cabernet Sauvignon, and this is actually a 2014.
2014.
And so this been 36 months in barrel, and then we just released it last July when we got our own AVA called Goose Gap. And one of the reasons that it was we got it was because of Goose Mountain.
Okay.
So Goose Mountain actually faces north-south, where most all of the mountains over there go east-west, and they're really not mountains, they're just really big hills.
Yeah.
Just want to clarify that. And so all the fruit for this is grown on the higher elevation. It's all hand-picked, hand-sorted. It is just amazing. It is 88% Cabernet with 12% Merlot in it.
Okay.
And we did all the aging for you on this
Nice.
one. It's so delicious. One other cool thing about this, not only is the label cool.
Yeah, I was just about to say I like the label.
So the feather is a nod to the geese that actually fly through there. But when you turn it on its side, that is actually Goose Mountain.
Oh, holy crap, that's cool.
Yeah. So it's super cool. But the wine is just amazing. This cabin.
Yeah, and this is good.
It is really good.
Yeah, I like that.
So.
Yeah, and I say this is our last section, but we still got to do the vodka, so no, this is not our
Yeah,
last.
well, I'm going to go get that vodka right now and then go get you some of that. Okay?
Thank you, Mr. Kevin. I appreciate it. The Weddings, Music, and Wine here with Nuu. We got they look like another cab, so I'm kind of feeling all of these right now because this is our sixth wine tasting right now, and yeah, I mean, I guess with six tastings, that would be probably like that wouldn't be half a bottle, about a quarter of a bottle. So yeah, you start to fill it after a quarter anyway. Anyway, thank you guys for listening in. Weddings, Music, and Wine with Nuu. 5,000 listeners, top 50 on Spotify. We were just kind of just chilling today here in Woodinville, Washington, Hollywood district with Kevin at Goose Ridge Vineyards and Winery, the estates. We got a bunch of people that's actually coming in right now. They're having a good time. It's a beautiful day on a Sunday. So thank you guys for listening in. We will be right back because we're going to try this Vito Vito Vodka? Is that what it is? Vito Vodka. They make vodka. This is the first winery or tasting room I've been to, and they actually have something other than wine. So, yeah, I'm kind of excited for that. So, I'll be right back, guys. All right, Weddings, Music, and Wine with Nuu. We are back here at Goose Ridge Estate Vineyards and Winery here in Woodinville, Washington, Hollywood District. Kevin, wine influencer, been awesome this entire episode. We've been doing all kind of wines. I think we've taken seven or so like wine tastings so far. My favorite is actually the very first one was the rosé.
Yeah, it's really good.
And probably the last one too, because the cab was really good too. And that was that was a 2014. So can they get that online as well?
Yep, you sure can. Yeah, you definitely can get that online. It's gooseridge.com.
Okay.
And you can get all of our wines there.
Yeah, I'm about to say, go ahead, because I was going to say something about the website as well. So, plug the website.
Yeah, so you can get any of our wines there. You can get our Cascadian Outfitters. You can get our G3 there. You can get the Goose Mountain. And so what I brought you out was the vodka. And then every month we come up with a new cocktail. And we serve it on Friday, Saturday, Sundays. And what you have is our watermelon splash, which is our vodka with watermelon juice, some lemon juice, some muddled mint, and a little bit of lemon soda water in there.
Oh, nice.
It's really refreshing.
Okay, so one of these is an actual little shot, and the other one is actually the cocktail.
Yep. So you need to smell that vodka, and then you're gonna Yeah. Huh?
That's really what?
I know. That's what I did when I first saw it.
That's so good. Okay.
And then just take a little sip of that.
No, when you take shots, you take the whole thing.
Yeah. What did you think of that?
That was actually really, really smooth.
Yeah, very smooth.
Huh.
Like I keep
usually you kind of like, it kind of gets in your throat.
Yeah.
I didn't get in my throat at all.
No, it's really nice. And I always keep a bottle of this in my freezer in case of an emergency. You never know when there's an emergency.
What kind of emergency, Kevin?
I just got home. So, on there. And I hope you like that cocktail too. And it was a pleasure hanging out with you this afternoon.
Awesome.
Isn't that cocktail good?
Holy crap. And I'm a bartender as well on the side, so I'm going to have to... I may have to get this Vito first before we leave.
Yeah, you and I have a lot in common.
We do. I was saying that earlier.
Because I bartended in Vegas.
And see, I moved here from Vegas.
Oh,
so when you say I just didn't want to interrupt you, I wanted to hear the whole story. But I was in Vegas for like 4 years doing wedding, because I'm a wedding planner as well, and wedding consultant also. So I was there bartending and weddings and DJing and all kind of stuff too. And during the pandemic, I actually came up with the podcast because everything shut down. So I was like, I have to do something on the side. So here we are.
There you go. All right. It's been a pleasure. Cheers.
Hey, thank you. I appreciate it, Kevin. The Weddings, Music, and Wine with Kevin. I would say wine influencer here at Goose Ridge Estate Vineyards and Winery here in Woodinville, Washington. We are finished talking, and he had gave us his Vito Vodka. My God, that was actually really, really good. So thank you guys for listening in. Weddings, Music, and Wine with Nuu. You can catch me on Spotify, iHeartRadio, and all major streaming services. I am going to get out of here so I can drive home, if I can drive home, because I've already taken like 6 or 7 of these damn wine tastings, and now I'm drinking a vodka cocktail. So you guys, if you drink, you know how it is. So yeah, kind of feeling it a little bit, but not really. Thank you guys for listening in. Weddings, Music, and Wine with Nuu. We are out of here. Thank you. See you next Sunday, next weekend. I'm going to see you guys again. You guys will hear me again. Shout out to every freaking country that listens, including the USA, India, Canada, Bahrain of all places, Iran. I've even seen that on my analytics. So I do analytics. So I know who'll be listening in. The UK, British Columbia, Mexico, freaking Spain, My God, I can just keep on going. 49 countries. Get out of here. That's crazy. 5,000 listeners. Top 50 on Spotify. Thank you guys for listening in. Weddings, Music, and Wine with Nuu is just growing, just keeps growing. Like I said, my next step is going to be video, so you can see my beautiful face in there. Once we do the video, I'm going to have my first guest as my guy, Tech Lee, Kung Fu Master. He is awesome. He's got his new movie is coming out, I believe, this month. So we're going to be doing that very, very soon with some HD type videos. So that's what we're going to be doing. My first guest will be Tech Lee. Look him up. Tech Lee on all social medias. Look him up also on Google as well, because he is, like I said, Kung Fu. He does Kung Fu. Well, I mean, I ain't got to say nothing else. That's like some Bruce Lee stuff. So yeah, look up Tech Lee. Weddings, Music, and Wine with Nuu. I'm about to get out of here, guys. Woodinville, Washington, here at Goose Ridge. This has been the entire episode with Goose Ridge with Mr. Kevin. Thank Kevin for giving us all the information and education, and also the wine tasting too. All the wine was awesome. Now I'm finishing up with a little bit of Vito Vodka, and I'm about to get out of here. Thank you guys. Let's go.
This is DJ Nuu, the most interesting DJ in the world.
Hey! What kind of music?
The only music worth being called music. I'm talking about the funk.
Thank you all for listening and welcome back to Weddings, Music, and Wine. Thank you all for listening, like I said, and thank you again to Kevin at Goose Ridge in Woodinville, Washington, a Hollywood district, for educating me on all things wine. Thank you to 5,000 listeners in 49 countries for listening in. I appreciate and love every one of you guys and ladies as well. Thank you all for listening in. I will talk with you again very, very soon. This episode is available on Spreaker.com always, and also Spotify. My God, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and all the major streaming services as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, I do bid you a good evening. A really beautiful, blessed evening. A great week coming up. A great weekend when it does get here. So, with that said, peace, love, music, wine, and you all already know it's a new day. Yes, it is.
It's a new day. Yes, it is.
Weddings. Music.
Throw your hands in the air if you's a true player.
Okay, get up. Dipset. Joel Santana. Heatmakers. I think this is the one.
And wine. With Nuu.
This is DJ Nuu, the most interesting DJ in the world.